ancestors. Strength
For
and
the
honor.
Horde!
Strike
I will
now.
destroy you, you puny humans. Prepare to face my wrath. Charge! What the heck? What is all this? Biomes of WoW? Oh, that's right. I'm supposed to be showing you guys all the different biomes in World of Warcraft. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Milk, and this is Cookies. I hope you didn't take too much offense at that puny human comment. Just a little joke, you know. First things first, I should probably change it to something a little more appropriate. Get rid of all this armor, and don't need those, and, let's see here. Don't need that, or this, and, helmet. Yes, okay, now you can probably understand me much better. So let's begin our tour in a land of extremes. A land of danger, of crazy animals, and epic battles. I give you Stranglethorn Vale. Rain, lots of rain, and lots of green. What do you think? Where are we? If you said rainforest, you would be correct. Quite a variety of animals and plants here, like gorillas, as the ones you find in Africa. Even tigers. Now, Cookies here doesn't really like tigers, but, I think he'll put... Cookies, was that really necessary? Let's try that again. Tigers, like those you would find in India. Beautiful creatures. Even raptors, like those you would find in, wait, you don't have raptors? Cookie? Oh, okay. Raptors. Maybe you don't have them, you're missing out on a lot. Anywho, the variety of plant and animal life in the rainforest is huge. We're talking major biodiversity, to use an ecology phrase. Even though the rainforest only covers about 2% of the planet's surface, it has as much as 50% of all species. And all those plants really help us out too by providing oxygen through photosynthesis. You know, part of that whole carbon cycle thing. And it's also, wait a minute, what is that? Is that smoke? Well, let me get a closer look. Not good. That's just not good. You know, speaking of the carbon cycle, when we burn fuels, that's called combustion, and it adds carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. And if we're getting rid of the trees at the same time, what's going to get rid of all that extra CO2? Kind of a problem. So what are we going to do? Cry about it? Yeah, well, I'm not one to cry. I think I'm going to do something about it. Looks like we have another problem going on here, too. Look at all this water pollution. I mean, if you're going to make waste, at least dispose of it in a proper manner. So what can you do about it to save the rainforest? Well, first of all, make sure you know where your food and your products are coming from. Are they being harvested sustainably? Good things to know. Or you could just throw on your armor and go kick some goblin butt for a little while. There, I feel much better now. So, how about another fun-filled trip to another rainforest, eh? Here in Ungoro Crater, it's also hot and rainy and humid and wet. Once again, we have the crazy animals such as raptors, and also Tyrannosaurus that are white with strange things coming out of their back. But the main reason why I wanted to come here was to show you a geographical feature that can make a big difference between biomes. So let's take a flight to Tanaris. which is a desert. If you look on the map, you'll see that Tanaris and Ungoro Crater are about the same latitude, so they should have similar temperatures, right? But you'll also notice up ahead of us there's a very large mountain range. And this can cause what's called a rain shadow effect. And I'll show you what I mean. Look behind us, nice and green. As the clouds pass over the side of the mountain, they dump all their rain. So by the time you get to the other side, there's little rain left, and we're left with a desert. Now here in the desert, it's still hot, but it's very dry. But not all deserts are sandy wastelands. For example, check out this picture. What does it look like? Hopefully you said saguaro cactus. And if you see saguaro cactus, you must be in the Sonoran Desert. Here's some interesting plants that I thought looked quite a bit like these things, Joshua trees. See Joshua trees, you're in the Mojave Desert. And here's some more plants. They kind of look like agaves and yuccas, which means you're in that desert that sounds like it's named after a dog, the Chihuahuan. Finally, here's a pretty scene that I thought looked a lot like the Painted Desert, which is in the Great Basin Desert of Arizona. Ah, Mulgore, my homeland. It's every cow's dream. Nothing but tasty grass, grass, grass for miles. And not much in the way of trees, either. A few scattered ones, but they're usually only found in places where there's a source of water, like a stream. Out here in the open, not enough water. So here we have an area where you would see some, in a little riverbed. Problem is, trees keep it warmer at night. Not enough trees, it gets darn cold here in the middle of winter. So how about a place with a few more trees, eh? How about the Barrens? Now in the Barrens, there's still grass, but also some scattered trees. Barrens is what you'd call a savanna. Since you have lots of grass and other bushes and trees, there's many opportunities for plant eaters. So savannas have the greatest diversity of grazing animals, like these antelope. You'll also find zebras, giraffes, quite a variety. And of course, you'd have the carnivores that feed on these animals. Let's see, over here, I think I saw some hyenas. Yep, those are definitely some hyenas. Hyenas are what you'd call detritivores. They're scavengers. They eat the remains of other animals' kills. But don't get me wrong, they can be very tough predators as well. Watch out, don't let them get too close. Now another savanna that's found in World of Warcraft is here in Nagran, and you probably notice it's quite a bit greener, which could easily be explained. Savannas have both a wet and a dry season. Okay, now here's Elwyn Forest, and I'm not really supposed to be here. The humans don't take too kindly to us hordes hanging out here, so I'm just going to stay for a bit. But I wanted to show you these really cool looking oak trees. That's typical of what you'd call the temperate deciduous forest. Now let's go to horde territory so I can show you something real cool. So here's Eversong Woods, and it's also in a... What, you got a problem with this? I'm just trying to fit in. Okay, I know it looks like a giant purple chicken, and it looks even funnier when they run. Check it out. But the point is, I'm here in another example of the temperate deciduous forest, and it's much more obvious here. All the leaves are turning shades of yellows, oranges, and reds. And this happens every fall before the leaves fall off the trees. And it looks kind of bland in the wintertime, but about this time of year I think it's beautiful. Hey, life isn't all just like fighting and questing. It's nice to take a look at the scenery now and then. The next stop on our tour is Grizzly Hills. Now the trees here usually stay green all year round, and that's because we're in what's called a temperate boreal forest, or a taiga. And this is the perfect example of a temperate boreal forest, or taiga, because you don't see much in the way of the understory. Lots of tall trees, but really not much in the way of short trees and bushes. It also gets pretty darn cold, And I think the snow over there is good evidence of that. Now from here, it's just a short trip to our next stop, the Borean Tundra. Gee, I wonder what kind of biome this is. I think the name should say it all. It's most definitely a tundra. And it's easy to tell because, well, it's cold. And look at the ground. It's squishy and wet. Lots of big puddles. That might seem weird, but it doesn't rain often here. How come there's so much water? Well, it's so cold that the precipitation that does fall usually doesn't evaporate, so you're left with a soggy mess on the ground. It also has permafrost, which prevents it from soaking in. Okay, time to warm up again and dry off my boots or hooves. So let's review. Tropical rainforest, tropical savanna, desert, grassland, temperate, deciduous, temperate boreal, tundra, and oh wait. Chaparral. I almost forgot about chaparral. Honestly, I couldn't find a very good example of it, but you're really not missing much. You know, Southern California, lots of problems with things like, wildfires and mudslides. So I don't think you'd really miss it, right? I guess that about wraps it up. Just wanted to tell you guys, may the force be with you, and good luck on the test.
Strength and honor.
Seriously, because I hear it's going to be super hard. I think it's like 97 questions, and there's like 4 essay questions, and, I'm going to go fight some dragons, and, I'm probably going to have an easier time than you. So, have fun!